Hello everybody. This video I'm going to show you how you can do a quick example or exercise on how you can use Python, a Python-based mapper and also reducer to perform the word count task using the AMI created cluster that you can see here. Once you log in, you can see 3 nodes, and if you have them all running, then also have an IP address ready, then you are good to begin. So let's try it out. First, start your favorite Putty in this case, and I already have the IP address configured, so I assume this is correct. And also I would want to make sure you can see them. Okay, so this should be correct. You load the setting, the correct IP of the master node, we are good to start. Doesn't look as big as I wish, so let me just increase the font size a little bit. Okay, this looks better. So first thing, when you get in, type sudo Hadoop so that you change yourself into a different user, and the password will be MapReduce. This looks good. So let's change the size a little bit so that it's easier to read. Okay, first of all, I want you to change your directory to ist3134, and you take a look. There are 3 zip files that I prepared in the AMI. Secondly, have a check whether Hadoop is running. In this case, it's a freshly started cluster. You should get the error message. So therefore, the first thing you may want to do this, sorry, not zip, but start all sh. This is a script that will start HDFS and also yarn. Once this is ready, that means Hadoop is up and running. Then you can now begin with the task we want to carry out here. Wait for a while, you can see all the nodes will be started one by one and ready for our exercise. Next, we will prepare the dataset, which is Shakespeare. So what you do is you unzip the Shakespeare zip, and again cross-check what you have in Hadoop. And to be consistent, we would like to have Shakespeare in the root directory of the Hadoop cluster, which is what we have done so far. Therefore, okay, I already have it, that's why you have this correct. If you do not have it, then do a Hadoop fs minus put Shakespeare and the slash. It will now put Shakespeare into the root directory of the HDFS. In this case, is ready. You can even look at the content, and by right you should see 4 files being available in the HDFS cluster. So next, let's prepare the mapper and also the reducer class, okay, file. And if you do not have them yet, this is what you can do. First, put nano mapper, and you can copy the code I have provided in the previous lab. Okay, and very important, the first line is what you must have there, a hash exclamation mark, and then /usr/bin/env space python3. This will ensure no matter what system you are using, the script will know where to find the Python3 interpreter, and that will help you to run this file, okay, without any problem. So at the end, press Ctrl X, and press Y, and press enter. You have now saved mapper.py. Next, let's create the reducer file. So the same thing, copy and paste your reducer code from your previous lab. It may look like this, it may look slightly different, but you should do the same job. And make sure the first line looks correct. and now press Ctrl X, press Y, and press enter. If you have followed the steps so far and done it correctly, you will see 2 files are being added. But if these 2 files are as it is, and you can see with the permission here, X is not there, means these 2 files are not executable. So you can see if I put mapper.py now, you can see it wouldn't execute because there's no permission for anyone or for the system to execute it. So what you want to do now is to put this command with chmod a+x and the file name. You will be able to change them into executable file. Of course, the permission will be only executed by Hadoop. So if you now look at the listing again, you can see with that the access has been added, and this will also then allow mapper and reducer to run. And how to test that? Maybe you want to do this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and by using pipe, we can then pipe this string into mapper, and you can see the count work. And following the idea of Hadoop, we can sort the output, and after that push the output from the sort to reducer. If you see this output as I do, where number 3 appeared twice and the rest once, then the word count has happened correctly, means the 2 Python scripts also will work. Next thing is probably something that you need to pay attention to the command. Okay, it will be slightly long, but I have put it now on the screen that you can follow. It starts with map_pred, input Shakespeare, and output mymr output. This indicates that this is the input directory, which is from the root directory of HDFS Shakespeare, and the output will be mymr output, which without the slash it will not go to the root directory but go to the user directory of Hadoop in the cluster. I'm going to show you a bit more after this when you get the result. 2 more very important parameter is the option of file mapper and file reducer, which actually say these are the 2 files to be uploaded to the nodes for them to use to execute. Okay, and finally you tell the Hadoop Stream service mapper, this is the mapper class and this is the reducer class. Note that this is slightly different from the previous one. You can use map_pred streaming, which this is actually equivalent to our previous example where you use Hadoop jar and the jar file of the streaming jar. Okay, I think this will be a lot simpler. It's doing the same thing, therefore let's use this convention instead. Now let's just press enter, and if everything is correct, you see that the code is telling that the job has been assigned, and very soon you see that Hadoop will begin with the mapping, and everything works, means mapper.py can be executed. You'll now see mapping tasks will increase from 0, yes, to 25 to 50, and now followed by the reducer task, which will be executed by reducer.py. You can see now this is done. If you reach here so far with the same output, congratulations, you have successfully used Hadoop and streaming to carry out MapReduce job using Python written scripts. Okay, in order to check your output, let's go back to the Hadoop. Okay, not Shakespeare, sorry. You want to look at the output in your home directory, so maybe Hadoop fsls, and you can see there is a my output there. Okay, or to be clearer, use a Hadoop. Okay, and don't be confused that you see Shakespeare here, because previously I did upload Shakespeare to the user directory in the Hadoop folder. That's why there's also another Shakespeare there. By right, you wouldn't have that. So if we now put MR output, we can now see what has been stored as the output, and as usual you see that there's a part 000. So what we can do now to look at the content, you can now do a cat, and you might want to type with 5 zeros. If following the steps and you get the same output, this is where I'm going to say congratulations, you have seen the output of a Python based code that can perform word count. That's of course not perfect, it's probably a bit too simplified, because you can see here it doesn't differentiate the punctuation, and that's with a little tweak in your code you should be able to put all this together and give you one sum instead of treating them differently. But in the last 10 minutes you have seen how you can use Python and also the Hadoop cluster and Hadoop streaming in order to use now Python based code to do your Hadoop MapReduce task. So I hope you learned something and you can repeat this exercise again and again with this video guide. So have fun learning Hadoop, and I'll see you in the next video.